A New Jersey family is suing local and state agencies in South Carolina for how they treated their mentally ill son. Paul Tarashuk Jr. was battling schizoaffective disorder. He was killed while walking along a South Carolina interstate last year, just after he had been picked up and released by police and paramedics. In an interview you'll only see on CBS News, Jim Axelrod sat down with Tarashuk's family. Jim, good morning. It sounds like this young man needed some help.
Good morning, Michelle. He certainly did. Paul Tarashuk's family has filed a civil lawsuit against more than a dozen defendants, including law enforcement and paramedics. Now, among the items of evidence in the case is body camera video. A warning, some of what you're about to see is graphic.
It's been a year of crippling emotion for Cindy and Paul Tarashuk. A year since the death of their 26-year-old son, also named Paul.
Still not easy to talk about, is it?
No, it's talking about him gets me really upset. Talking about this stuff gets me angry.
Paul Tarashuk had schizoaffective disorder, suffering delusions and hallucinations. But he was getting on with his life until one night last September when he had a psychotic breakdown traveling along this highway near Orangeburg, South Carolina. Parked for a roadside break, a trucker suddenly saw Tarashuk walking toward him.
Naked man. Freaks me out. I take off.
As the trucker drove down the interstate, he realized Tarashuk was riding on his rig and called 911.
Come on down. What's going on?
Officers from 3 different law enforcement agencies responded, including Orangeburg County Sheriff's Deputy Clifford Dorowski.
Oh, he's under the influence. Nobody can see that.
Who was certain Tarashuk was high or drunk. Dorowski's body camera recorded what happened when EMS arrived.
You speak English? Hey.
Tarashuk didn't answer the first responders, who were berating and cursing at him.
I'm being serious. I'm sleepy. Give me a damn name so I can go home, for real. I'm tired.
So they shoved an ammonia capsule up his nose.
Breathe that in.
He didn't flinch.
At that point, someone should have stepped up and says, we got to take him in someplace. He's not just someone to let go.
Do you want to go to the hospital? Yes or no? Do you want to go to jail? Well, those are your 2 choices.
Then come on, I'm going to give you a ride. You're not going to jail. You're not under arrest. I'm going to give you a ride. I'll give you a ride to a safe environment. That's all I want. I want to make sure you're all right.
The deputy puts Tarashuk into his cruiser, drives him 15 miles to this gas station near the county line, a gas station that was closed at the time. This is the last time Paul Tarashuk is seen alive.
It's just watching him walk to his death. He was escorted by an officer to his death.
I think I just hit a person on the interstate.
Nearly 5 hours later, the same EMS crew was called to deal with Tarashuk again, back on the same highway. This time, he was dead. A toxicology report from the Orangeburg County Coroner's Office came up clean. No drugs, no alcohol. Despite this, Deputy Clifford Dorowski is still on the job at the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Department, and so is one of the EMTs.
They didn't do their job. That's it. They just didn't do their job. They didn't care enough about human life to do their job.
We asked both the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Department and the EMS Department for on-camera interviews. They both declined, citing an ongoing investigation. South Carolina's statewide investigative law enforcement agency is examining whether there was criminal conduct by the first responders.
I can't imagine what it must be like for that family to watch that footage. I mean, it's just heartbreaking.
That's why they filed the suit. In addition to wanting some kind of accountability and justice, they're looking for some sort of monetary damage that'll get the attention of legislators in South Carolina to implement some new laws.
It's a tough job, being an EMS worker.
Yes. No question.
No doubt about it. But when you think about, you know, some of the rules and procedures, again, it's just like in policing.
And let's be clear about this. There are people in that community that are as outraged. A professor we spoke to at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, who teaches this stuff, says this video is training for every EMS worker in what not to do. Of course, the majority of EMS workers are people we need and conduct themselves in wonderful ways.
They know to ask, are drugs involved? Is alcohol involved? Why not ask also, is there a mental health problem here?
But would he have been able to answer?
Standard operating procedure. You should recognize those signs.
Should.
But instead of driving him to a gas station, they maybe should have driven him to a hospital. All right, Jim, thank you.